Hey, how well are you connected with your gifts and that dream, that inner sense that there is more to life for you, that there's more than what you're living right now? In today's Living Your Made for More Dream interview with Sarah Talbert, she's a business coach, she's going to share some mindsets and actions that helped her get connected with her gifts and build the confidence she needed to grow a profitable business. And if you stay tuned to the end, you're going to hear her share a little part of what made her husband actually fall in love with her all over again in this process. And so I'm Emily Grabatin. Let's get you some clarity and courage for the next steps in your calling. Hi everyone, I'm Emily Grabatin, Purpose and Calling Coach, and today we would have with us Sarah Talbert. Sarah is a business coach that helps women discover their gifts so that they can build a business that brings them joy and a profit. So Sarah, I have seen you from some of the beginnings of your journey and watch you blossom and really come into who you are and grow confident, and I really admire about that in a really authentic, gentle way. I see you attract a lot of people just by your authenticity and just being who you are, sharing your struggles along the way, but your encouragement as you're figuring it out. So I would love to hear a little bit more about your Made for More dream and what have you been working towards, but how did you get to this point? Where were you at the beginning of your journey?
Thank you first for having me. I'm super excited to connect with you. I did connect with you back in a while ago when I was just starting my journey, like you said. I guess where it started was with my husband, who I say is a serial entrepreneur. He loves to start businesses and sell them, and he's the idea person. And so I would help him start businesses, and then we'd sell it, and we'd start another one, and then we'd grow it. And but I sat for a long time feeling kind of resentful that I couldn't do my own thing. And it wasn't him. He would encourage me to do some things, but I never felt like I was good enough at anything to really start something of my own. I always thought he was the one that had the gifts and had the creativity and had the dreams, and I never had my own dream. And so it kind of started one time when I was hearing this podcast from Christy Wright on Business Boutique, and she was talking about how we all have been given gifts, and if we're not using them, then we're being wasteful. And if we have been given gifts and we're not using them, we're acting like a spoiled teenager, and how they're sitting on the couch and given everything to do everything they need to do, and they're still complaining. And that hit me really hard, in that I have been given gifts and I'm just not using them, or just acting too humble, which was still prideful, in that I wasn't using what I had been given. And so I guess I kind of started my journey there with a little kick in the pants to get up and start using my gifts and just start trying things. And what am I good at? And going back to, I loved doing teen girl Bible studies, high school teen girl Bible studies, and we'd do retreats, and they'd come to my house, and we'd do really in-depth work with them and growing their dreams. And so I started really thinking about, I loved that part of it, and how can I turn some of these skills and gifts that I've been nurturing along the way into a business. And that's kind of where it all got started.
Wow.
Yeah.
So part of it was owning that you had gifts.
Yes.
Focusing on what you already have rather than what you didn't have.
Yes.
Comparison gets us all.
Exactly.
And then the second phase was actually deciding just to try something.
Yes.
Realizing what you had, what could that be? What could I do with it? And actually try
Yes,
things to figure something out.
exactly.
Awesome. Awesome. So what was the core message that birthed in your heart through this process? What did you figure out? Tell us, what did you figure out you could give? What are you turning into that?
I think one of the main things that I've really taken away was that we've all been given an opportunity to be creative. And I think that's how humans really stand out apart from everything else, is that we all have the ability to be creative. And it's kind of starts from my own story, like a lot of our things do, but just that I didn't feel like I was creative and I didn't feel like I had gifts to give, and how untrue that was. And that when you're creating a new email sequence, or you're creating a new course, or you're creating a new anything, it doesn't have to be a piece of art, but that we've all been created to be creative. And I really think that's when I grasp that, then I can put that and infuse that into my business and help the women along the way, that you have gifts and you are creative and you have something to offer the world.
That's awesome. So you've been really owning that in new steps all along the way.
Yes, for sure.
Seeing, creativity where you never would have considered it creativity before.
Yes.
Yeah. Do you end up seeing that in other people before they see it in themselves too, as a coach?
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I'm working with a woman right now, and she has, she keeps saying she's not confident, and my group is Growing Confident Moms, but she keeps saying she's not confident, and I keep seeing her abilities shine. And a lot of times when we're really good at something, we don't always know that it's a gift, because it comes so easy, and we think everybody else can do it too, because it's so easy for us, right? And so a lot of times it's just giving them the confidence to do what they do best, and like showing them this is a zone of genius that not everyone else has. And when they can grasp that what they do is special and unique to them, it builds confidence. So
we're so close to it. We don't see our own strengths anymore. You're like, really? That's a strength? Like anyone.
You can do that?
Yeah, I know. And often it's not a weakness to not, it's not a weakness to not recognize it, because it is your strength. Like often I think before I felt like, well, because I'm asking what am I good at, that means I'm insecure and therefore I'm not confident, when really it was, no, I'm just too close to see it clearly.
Yes.
And even that helped shape my perspective and figuring it out too. Like asking for help was not a sign of weakness, that I couldn't do it on my own or incompetent. It was really, I'm too close to see it. A lot of times it's my, even with my glasses and my eyesight, I think of it the same way. Like I need a proper perspective or filter to see something clearly.
Exactly.
So
yes, for sure.
Yeah, that's awesome that you get to mirror that back to people, to show them, no, this is what you see. And it sounds like your community does that as well.
Yeah.
Not just you, which is probably what you love about communities. And
yes.
Awesome. So what's the next thing you're working on?
I currently am just doing one-on-one coaching, and I've built a couple of courses based off of what my coaching clients go through, but I'm really wanting in 2019 to have some retreats, or at least one retreat, because I did love doing that with those teen girls. It fostered such an safe place to be able to grow and be nurtured and encouraged. And some of those girls are still sending me messages and each other and supporting each other for the journey. And I really have a heart for hospitality, and that's hard to create in the online space. And as much as we want to, and as much as we can still do calls like this, there's nothing like being able to sit down with a cup of coffee and
smell home-baked cookies.
Yes, you can't smell the cookies that are cooking.
No, they have not crossed that barrier online yet. Still waiting.
It's coming. But it's funny you say that, because one of my first businesses, I started a baking business. Oh, yeah. And I loved being able to create all these new cookies and all these new ideas, but I just didn't like staying in the kitchen all the time. And so the thought of being able to bring all of those gifts that you're creative with is will be super rewarding when it comes together.
Yeah, and that's the adventure of it, is you don't have to figure it. Who wants to figure it out all at once? Because part of the adventure is the layers of it, in exploring one thing and getting it down and then adding to it, or
and also going, I didn't like that. Yeah. You know, a lot of times my clients and myself, we go through things and they're like, well, I brought on this new client and they drain me so much, I can't stand working with them. And I'm like, all right, well, now you know. Like, now you know not to sign people like that again, and you know not to take on that stuff. And so we learn through our failures too, so much more than, I mean,
we're built to remember them easier. And, you know, if that's what it takes so that we don't keep repeating it, then let us learn the hard way.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah. So what has been the biggest challenge in this journey what's been the biggest challenge, and how has it shaped you to be who your dream needs you to be?
I feel like my thought is multi-layered.
I was like, it's a big question. It's one challenge.
Yeah. So I think we say new levels, new devils, you know? So as you start out, there's one challenge that's really, like, it seems insurmountable. And then there's another challenge. And then, you know, you just keep tackling them. But first starting out, I'm such an introvert. And I used to not even answer my phone if someone called. And now my husband's like, you're a totally different person. And so he's like, I've never watched you be so bold and courageous and doing some of the things you're doing. And for someone else to answer the phone or to make a phone call about your phone bill probably wouldn't have been that big of a deal. But so that was a challenge, to just be able to get on a call like this and say, and a lot of my clients do the same thing. Like, I don't know if I could ever do a live training, or I don't know if I could ever do this. But I feel like when you start becoming confident and just start taking those steps and be okay with falling and messing up, then it builds your confidence. Okay, I didn't die during that Facebook Live. Okay, I didn't die when that happened.
Yeah.
It builds so I feel like it's been little things that have I've slowly tackled and failed and then tackled again, but just getting back up again after certain things. So
not only you have noticed your growth, but your husband actually has commented that you are becoming a different person.
Yes.
That's so encouraging. How has that impacted your family then?
Very much so. I almost wrote a blog post the other day about the husband whose wife fell in love with her all over again, because he does weekly. He'll say, I've never seen you do this or this, or I've never seen you so happy, or I want to support your dream. But I guess our relationship, we've been together since we were 12. So like, we literally have grown up together, you know? And so him saying those things, he knows who I've been since I've been 12. And so he really has seen a change. And the way I've got 3 children, and my oldest is almost 12, and he talks about, I want to be able to chase my dreams too. You know, like, I love watching you do that. I love, Mom, you're really good at your job. And I don't even know if they really fully know what I do, but they know I'm happy. And then Mom set aside time to work, so she's working on her dreams. But then when she's done, she shuts it off and she's with me, you know? So I feel like it's been a fantastic, discovering that I'm creative just in general has been just a worldwide change in our world.
Yeah. I love it, because I remember our phone call when we first met, and you were all questions and uncertainty and the transformation, and that wasn't too long ago.
No.
It doesn't have to take forever.
Yes.
To start becoming the person we didn't even imagine that we could be.
Yes.
The person that you were meant to be, that, you know, layer by layer,
it's so funny, because when you and I first met, I had built this, or shortly after, I put together this like program that I felt like it was the process I went through to kind of discover my own gifts and my own values and all of this stuff. And then I put it aside and I put it in a folder and I hid it and I didn't touch it. And then I started tackling something that I thought would be easier and less scary. And that was not the thing. And then I started like re-pulling it out, and I thought, I need to help women do this. And I remembered that I had written that whole program, and that's what I walked these women through.
That's what you ended up going back to. You know what? The same things happened to me. The thing that I'm like birthed in and created and poured my soul into, and then you get into comparison, or you just realize, whatever goes through your mind at that point, and makes you shove it aside to say, maybe that was too easy and it's supposed to be harder, or right? And then you realize, oh, really, it's that first thing. I just need to tweak this and this about it. It's not as big of a deal as I thought, and this is more what they need. Like, but you almost need the contrast to say, is that?
Because another one of my clients that I'm working with right now, she did the same thing, and she said, I built out this whole ideal client, and then I started signing on all these other clients that had nothing to do with my ideal client, and I hate my job. And I'm like, well, when we walked back through the ideal client stuff, then she was like, that's my original ideal client. I've got to go back to that. And like, so yeah, we all do it. We all like have the burst of inspiration and then hide it under the rock. Like, not share this with the world.
And at the same time, we evolve and grow in our desire, our dreams, you know, ourselves, our approach, our message all matures and broadens or deepens.
Absolutely.
Go along the journey too. It's all part of it. Awesome. Sarah, I have loved this. I think that your message is going to inspire someone who is at that same place where they're wondering what are their gifts, and it's right there in front of them.
For sure.
And so tell me if anyone has resonated with your message or your approach and just wants to connect with you. Where can they find you, and who is the best person to come and find you for what you have to offer?
You can find me at sarahtalbert.com, TALBERT. And I have an opt-in there for Discover Your Purpose. If you'd like to walk through just discovering your own gifts and your own abilities, and that's got worksheets and videos to walk you through that. And if you're struggling to find more purpose and more fulfillment in your life, then reach out. I've got lots of great resources past that. So
awesome. Well, thanks so much for showing. We'll post a link in the video as well, so they can click on that in the notes, in the comments. Click on the links there that we share. And thank you so much for sharing your stories. Hey, thanks for watching. I hope this interview gave you the inspiration to move closer into living that calling that God's put on your heart. If you feel stuck at your crossroads or spinning your wheels, tired of figuring it out on your own, or you just stressed thinking that you should be farther than you are right now, let's clear some space in your mind and your heart, in your calendar, in your focus, so that you can start on your dream. Maybe it's starting brand new. Maybe it's just taking it to a new level. And I have a tool that will help you do that. A 10-day mini course that helps you show up daily with little mini assignments that just moves you to clearing that space and taking some brave action in your dream. And so you can find that at emilygrbatten.ca/brave action. See you there.